Hi everyone, Megan here from Beguiled by Books, and today I'm going to share with you my top 5 nonfiction authors that I'm going to read every single time they publish. Let's get started. I love to read both fiction and nonfiction books. I think both are important. A great framework is to think of reading fiction as learning through imagination and reading nonfiction as learning through facts. I think both are super valid. I love, of course, reading, and I really enjoy nonfiction, and I think more people would enjoy it if they knew the diversity of books that are out there. So these are the nonfiction authors that I'm going to read every single time they write a book, no matter what. My very first author that I'm going to read every single time is Adam Grant. Adam Grant wrote books like Think Again, Originals, and Hidden Potential. And those 3 books are just really excellent books that help the reader attempt to be the best version of themselves. There's really no underlying motivation other than, hey, here's the data that I've studied and the experiments that I've run and the things that I've learned, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. And I really love that particular mindset of an author having when writing a book. They want their reader to be the best version of themselves. And that's what Adam Grant does. And I'm going to continue to read those books as long as they continue to be awesome, which everything I've read has been so far. The next nonfiction author that I'm going to read every single time is Ryan Holiday. Probably doesn't come as a surprise to anyone. I recommend Ryan Holiday's books a lot. I love that Ryan Holiday has chosen his niche to be retelling Stoic philosophy in today's modern world, and why a philosophy from 2,000 years ago is still just as relevant today, even with all the societal changes and technological changes we've experienced. The books Ryan Holiday has written have been really powerful for a lot of people. Sports teams read them, organizations read them, and individuals, of course, read them as well. And the focus is controlling what you can control and making sure that your emotions don't overtake you when you really need to be logical and focused. So really great books. There are a couple series. He's got the Obstacle, Enemy, and Stillness trilogy, and then he's currently working on the 4 Stoic Virtues series, which are 2 books have been published. There are 2 more to come. He's got some other books that are really cool as well that I recommend you check out. Very prolific author, and everything I've read of his has been really great. I'm going to read him every single time. The next author that I'm going to read every single time he publishes a book is Michael Easter. I originally read The Comfort Crisis, and that was recommended or referenced, I should say, in Peter Attia's book, Outlive. So I read The Comfort Crisis, which I very much enjoyed. And that's all about, why discomfort is a growth mechanism and why we need to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations in order to get stronger, better at life and being a person. And then his second book, Scarcity Brain, was all about taking our bad habits, examining why we have bad habits, and working with ourselves to break the bad habits we no longer want. So I'm going to read all of his books whenever he comes out with a new one. I really enjoy his writing. It's quick, it's punchy, it's relatable. Yeah, absolutely good stuff. Michael Easter, another nonfiction author I'm going to recommend every time and read every time. The next author that I'm going to read every single thing that comes out is Katherine May. I first encountered her book Wintering, which is part memoir, part self-reflection book, in a couple years ago, and I really love the premise of Wintering as a way to look at winters as a season in your life, not just the literal season in the weather, but winter as a season in your life where you become more introspective. You've encountered an event that kind of makes you want to step away from the world and just tuck in and hibernate for a little while, and exploring why that's an important process to go through in order to see the spring and the summer and the really fun and celebratory months and seasons ahead. So Wintering is a great book. She also wrote a book called Enchantment that I loved, which is about awakening wonder in today's day and age when everyone's just so anxious and planned and focused on the next thing and maximizing productivity. And how do we go back to the time when we can just exist and marvel at the forest or the sea or the mountains or our children or what have you. So really, really enjoy Katherine May's style of writing, her perspective on things, and it is both informative and uplifting at the same time. So definitely am going to read Katherine May's book whenever she comes out with her next one. My fifth and final author that I'm going to read every single time is Helen Russell. Helen Russell started at one of what she calls her big shiny magazines in London, where she was writing and working there. Then her husband moved to Denmark to get his dream job at Lego. And she, of course, went with him. And her first real book, like her novel, actually, it wasn't a novel at all. Her first book is the Year of Living Danishly, about her time in her first year in living in Denmark and what that's like for a Londoner and the changes that she experienced, both physically moving countries and also internally, as she got to look at herself in a different way, living in Denmark, outside of London, working less fast-paced, things like that. So that was her first book. That's where I got introduced to Helen Russell. Her subsequent books have also been wonderful. How to Be Sad is one that I recommend a lot to people because it embraces that feeling we have of sadness and why we need to feel sad so that we can truly feel happiness in other parts of our lives. So Helen Russell is a great author. She's witty. She's very relatable. She's got a certain snappy style that just jumps off the page at you. And I'm going to read her books every single time she comes out with one. Who are some of your favorite nonfiction authors, and who did I miss from my list? I'd love to have more to add here. Please drop a comment below. And if you like this video and this content, please give me a like and a subscribe. See y'all next time.